This is what happens when YouTube creator burnout runs headfirst into the reality of a weekly production cycle. 90% of the 115 million channels on the platform never reach 1,000 subscribers. The small fraction who do make it often discover a very specific kind of exhaustion waiting for them on the other side. The animator Viyaura hit 1 million subscribers and called the pressure of a weekly upload schedule the scariest part of her entire career. Working solo without a production crew means constantly juggling the desire to make bigger and better content against the basic need to protect your own mental health. Most creators feel a physical inability to post more often because the writing, filming, and editing process is simply too demanding to repeat more than once every 7 days. Burnout usually starts when the creative process stops feeling like a passion and starts feeling like a trap. Viyaura admitted that one of her biggest regrets is what her brain does with free time now, because whenever she wants to draw just for fun, a voice in her head tells her she should be filming it for a video. That constant tug of war between enjoying something and needing to monetize it eventually kills the joy completely. The mental weight gets even heavier when a video that took a full week of work comes out to low views. And a lot of creators point to the YouTube algorithm itself as the invisible force driving that anxiety, where 1 week of underperformance can quietly bury a channel in recommendations for months. Most creators describe that moment as a deeply personal hit to their confidence, and it feeds a cycle that therapists are increasingly calling algorithm anxiety. Some creators have also spoken about how parasocial relationships with their audience quietly add to the pressure. Viewers form genuine emotional bonds with creators and expect a consistent, relatable presence, which means that taking a break or showing vulnerability can feel like a betrayal of the community you built. That dynamic traps creators in a performance loop that is very hard to escape. Having a neurodivergent brain adds another layer to all of this. The animator Illymation was diagnosed with ADHD in her 20s, and explained that the disorder is essentially a dopamine deficiency where the brain struggles to focus unless a task is genuinely high interest. She described eating cold, crunchy carrots to fill that low dopamine gap, just so she could sit down and get work done. Jaden Animations has spoken openly about similar struggles, describing the cycle of hyperfocus followed by complete creative paralysis that many neurodivergent creators recognize immediately. Time blindness follows these creators everywhere, where setting 4 different alarms every day still somehow ends with car keys in the freezer. Modern technology has quietly dismantled the natural circadian rhythms that helped humans manage their energy for 300,000 years. Before Thomas Edison commercialized the light bulb in 1879, people did not sleep in one continuous 8-hour block. They practiced what researchers call segmented sleep, sleeping 4 hours, waking for a 2-hour period in the middle of the night to reflect, then sleeping again until dawn. Historian Roger E. Kirch spent decades documenting this pattern across pre-industrial cultures, and psychiatrist Thomas Ware proved in 1992 that during this midnight window, the brain produces elevated levels of prolactin, creating a meditative state of consciousness that most modern creators have never experienced. We now live flooded with blue light from screens that suppresses melatonin and convinces our brains it is always daytime. Poor sleep hygiene has become so normalized in the creator community that most people do not even recognize it as a problem. They just call it the grind. That constant blue light exposure fragments sleep and turns natural midnight wakefulness into something that gets labeled as insomnia rather than recognized as a biological rhythm. The result is an entire creator community fighting against 300,000 years of circadian programming just to hit a Saturday upload deadline. Consistency is still the most important factor for channel growth, but many creators find the only way to stay consistent long-term is to stop performing a version of themselves that does not actually exist. Viyaura argues that being genuinely yourself on camera is the only way to survive the grind, because maintaining a fake persona is far too mentally draining to sustain. Even creators at 10 million subscribers like Dude Dan's still deal with impersonators stealing their content, adding another layer of stress to an already heavy workload. Waking up at 2 in the morning, feeling like something is wrong with you, might actually be your body remembering a rhythm older than civilization. If your clearest ideas come during those quiet hours after midnight, do you lean into it or force yourself back to sleep? Drop your thoughts on the creator grind in the comments. And if you are navigating your own creative journey, subscribe to join the conversation.